Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to discuss some psychological factors in language learning because we have a lot of factors that can influence on the way we learn languages. So, basically, you can see here we'll discuss some types of these factors of psychological factors. One of them is motivation, confidence, and self-efficacy, and anxiety. All right, let's begin with the motivation. The motivation is divided mostly into two: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is about driven by personal interest and enjoyment. It means like you have, let's say, inner desire to learn. Well, for example, you can see there are some learners who learn languages by their own wishes without any external factor. But extrinsic motivation is like mostly influenced by other people. It can be mostly parents or teachers. So if you compare these two, intrinsic motivation scales more because for comparison of these two, intrinsic motivation student learns the language faster than the extrinsic motivation student. And how can you have more, let's say, the higher motivation level? In order to have this, you have to set achievable goals. Sometimes students struggle to have clear goals on their way, so that they struggle if they don't have clear goals. Incorporate topics of interest. It gets easy for you if you choose topics based on your own interest and desire. For example, whenever if you want to speak about anything, try to choose topics based on your personal interest. Like, for example, for the mostly the boys tend to choose the topics like about sports. And the next one is provide positive reinforcement. Positive, having clear reinforcement about, let's say, getting a good companion or companionship in your, let's say, the group, so that they can motivate you to learn for long time purposes. So the confidence and self-efficacy. If you have, let's say, the high level of confidence, you can kind of you don't struggle. You don't, let's say, wait for risk taking and speaking. Mostly, if you don't have enough confidence, you all the time struggle, and you will have all the time fear of losing and making any mistake. And you can see here we have self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is like belief. If you believe in your own ability to do anything, it means you have high level of self-efficacy. So it is the self-efficacy all the time checked when it comes to speak and give public speech. So how can we boost our confidence? First of all, as a teacher, you have to celebrate small success on your students or learners. Whenever they have done something good, all the time praise them. Create supportive environment. All the time in a class, as an educator, you have to have, let's say, the class where everyone supports each other, so that they don't struggle. If you don't have any groupings, so that is you win. And we have encouraged participation in group discussion. Sometimes your students do any group activity. There is one or two students all the time keep silent, so you have to give them more responsibilities and role to check them. Then we have the another one, which is anxiety. Anxiety, it is kind of mostly affects you when it comes to speak and give performance. So you can see here there's some types of communication apprehension, fear of negative evaluation, and test anxiety. These are the types of this anxiety. I think the most of them are self-explanatory. And how can we reduce anxiety? So whenever if you're feeling this anxiety, try to use cooperative learning strategies. If you're struggling and after the struggle it comes automatically anxiety, try to get help from your friends so you don't feel that much stress and anxiety. And normalize mistakes. We as a human, we tend to be, like, say, the perfect 100 out 10 out of 10. It gets difficult and impossible sometimes. So if you make a simple mistake or normal, you have to accept it as normally, because everyone tend to make mistakes. And we have sometimes psychological challenges in learning. It's about fear of failure. We all the time try to avoid making mistakes, but it should be okay. And perfectionism. Again, it's about frustration when progress is slow. Sometimes, if you are not doing well, you all the time get frustrated, and at the end, it comes anxiety, and you lose the track. Or procrastination. You delay your activities or to do list later, 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 then you don't learn anything. Or overgeneralization. Overgeneralization is applying all the rules for all the topics. It's like learning present simple and applying all the present rules like present continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, but it is not the same. So we have to avoid these challenges, psychological ones as well. And how can for the strategies for educators? So you have to personalize as an educator or teacher. You have to personalize support for a student. For you, it means like you have to approach each student in different way, the way they accept. Encourage collaboration and peer learning in your classes. You have to there is a role all the time peer learning, and you have to encourage collaboration. And also in your class, try to set realistic and achievable goals so that students can follow and achieve, and they feel the honor and promote themselves. Provide emotional support and normalize mistakes. Sometimes whenever a student gets in trouble, try to be the first person who comes and stands next to them. And conclusion. So the psychological factors all the time, the one of the best ways to achieve success, because without having clear emotional state, you may not be able to be the same all the time. And we cannot forget the motivation, confidence, and mindset, because these are the one of the most important thing as a key. Teachers should create supportive and engaging learning environments, so where each student can contribute and help other student in their learning. Thank you for watching.